The International Finance Corporation has announced its results for the fiscal year ending 30th of June 2011. Of the 95 new investments made during the last financial year, 87 were in the world's lowest income economies. That's where the IFC's development impact is especially pronounced. Joining us now on the investment program going forward is Jean-Philippe Prosper, who's Director for Eastern and Southern Africa at the IFC. Jean-Philippe, thanks so much for your time. Now, we're talking about 95 new investments totaling about 2.2 billion. That's quite prolific for the IFC post the credit crisis. How have you done it?
We have done it because the opportunities are there and we have the people on the ground. You may know that for the past 5 years we have been ramping our activities significantly in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2003, for example, we did about $140 million only, but for the past 2 years we have gone over $2 billion.
All right, now the focus tends to be on low-income economies. Why these particular countries? What do they have to offer?
Well, those are the countries that need us most in the first place. You may recall that IFC, we are part of the World Bank Group and we're a development institution. So our raison d'etre is really to help development, and we do it through the private sector. So we put a special emphasis on those low-income countries. And I have to say that Africa is a key priority for IFC and for the World Bank Group for that matter.
Well, in that respect, a lot of work has been done, it seems, in West Africa, where your commitments have increased 8.5%. What makes the region exciting?
It's really, as I said, the opportunities that have come up with improvement that we have seen in the economies in Africa in general. You have seen we have less conflict. We have improved macroeconomic environment, and so this attracts investors and these give us more opportunities. In addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, IFC has upped its own game. Yeah. Today we have offices in Africa in general in, I would say, more than 19 offices, right. And we have more than 400 people in the ground. So this is reflected throughout, actually, sub-Saharan Africa.
Right.
We have invested this year in 31 countries, by the way. So West Africa is just part of it. We have done a lot in East Africa, in particular, where we have had our best year ever.
Let's talk about the trends in East Africa. We tend to associate East Africa with agrarian economies, and now increasingly with a lot of focus on the energy sector. That seems to be where the infrastructure priorities are.
Well, in East Africa, indeed, we are focusing on these sectors. But we're also doing a lot in the financial market. As you know, this is, it is key. One of the main constraints that we have is access to finance in Africa. And that's something that we have been working on a lot. And we have a special program that we call Africa Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, the Africa MSME, in which we work with local financial institutions. We help them develop their SME banking unit, and we also work actually with the SMEs themselves. We provide technical assistance to both sides, and we also provide funding to banks. And so we have done a great effort on that part. And actually this year, we have significantly increased our support to SMEs, and not only in Africa, however, it's also worldwide.
The returns. Let's talk about the returns, because obviously you're operating in the microfinance space as you're talking to us about it, infrastructure as I mentioned, but you're also involved in things like agri-businesses and fast-moving consumer goods, those kinds of areas. Many investors would say to you, that's not where the money's at. I know you're a development finance institution, but ultimately you've still got to go back to those national shareholders.
Yes, indeed. And for us, there are two key focus, I mean, not focus, I would say 2 parts of a strategy. Our development institution, development impact is extremely important for us. So we focus and we measure it. For example, in Africa this year, we can say that we supported more than 260,000 farmers. We created more than 217,000 jobs. We helped financing more than 500,000 students, and so on and so forth. And actually, I could say in energy, we helped bring electricity to more than 6.6 million people in Africa. So this part is very important for us, the development impact. However, as you said yourself, I mean, we have to be profitable. Otherwise, we'll go bankrupt and we won't be able to continue to do a very important development role. So yes, we are a very profitable institution also, and we reinvest those profits. Actually, I can tell you that part of our profits, we even give some of our profit to IDA, the International Development Associations, part of the World Bank Group also, that they reinvest and help support lower income countries.